Friends, what are you grateful for? Have it right here on the plate. When you sit down, maybe that's a question you can ask one another when you have a meal together. Hey, what are you grateful for? Oh, mashed potatoes. Hey, dessert. What are you grateful for? I have it on my shirt as well. What are you grateful for? For many, at the heart of their gratitude is what Jesus has done for us. And I'd like to tell you about a special week we call Holy Week, in which Jesus really reaches what most people would say is the top of the mark of what we are most grateful for. Well, before Holy Week, I'd like to start at another point called Christmas. Christmas, yes. It's called the incarnation. That means something is made flesh or real, tangible. God's love is made real and tangible through the gift of incarnation. And that one we really celebrate is Jesus coming, being born in a manger. Come to Bethlehem and see. This is the one that is for you born this day. In John 1 it says, and this word, this Jesus became flesh and dwells among us. That word dwells can be said to be tented among us. I like that. You know what a tent is like? Goes anywhere with you. Yeah, that's it. You can pitch a tent. Jesus is in the tent with you, not in a building. Buildings are good, like a church building, but Jesus is with you all the time. That's what incarnation means. I like also the notion that incarnation is also part of creation, that God's love is incarnated for us. And what I'm deeply grateful for is the beauty of each new day, a sunrise, a sunset, and the beauty of God's gift of creation. Can't wait for summer. Spring, it's coming. Yes, 70 degrees. Are you kidding? I am grateful for it. I like the way God comes to us to share God's love with us at such a time as this. And then God comes along and does something amazing that is so passionate, we say, deeply loving, that goes all the way to what's called the week of passion, love, even death. Oh my. It starts with Sunday we call Palm Sunday. It's called Palm Sunday because we come with the palms and we wave them, and on that day, Jesus came into the holy city of Jerusalem, and people put palms down on the ground as if to get a mat or roadway that would be special. They would do that to honor someone that might be considered a king or some big dignitary. Well, Jesus is and was that. And so they sang, Hosanna, Hosanna, the Son of David, the one that's coming to save us. It's also called Passion Sunday, because in the midst of the celebration is this ominous story that Jesus is coming that he might die. That doesn't sound good, but it's true. Not only does Jesus come to live and share his love, but comes to die to share his love. So we have Palm and Passion Sunday, and next during the week, we have a very special moment in which Jesus gives us himself in what we call the Lord's Supper or the Last Supper. In the night in which he was betrayed and that he died, that night he gave a supper to his disciples, his friends, to you and to me. That kind of meal is what we share as communion. That in that communion, Jesus comes and gives what we're so grateful for, gives himself out of love for us. So that loving gift comes to you and to me, and Jesus says, here, I am for you, for you. That's the key, 2 words. This bread, this wine, this body, this blood is for you. For you, that's what we're grateful for. Jesus comes and says, this is for you. Take and eat. And be reminded that it's for you and for all that you're grateful for. All those that love you and you love. And all those you don't even know across the globe and across time, even through eternity. For you, Jesus gives this meal. The Last Supper, it's called. Because right afterwards, Jesus goes out to a place called Gethsemane. It's a garden where he would pray, where he would pause to be grateful, to say what he's thankful for. That's what we do. We pause and occasionally then, like at a meal, and say what we're grateful for and what we're troubled by and what we're hurt by and what we want to pray for. Jesus goes and he prays in the Garden of Gethsemane. He is still. Another thing that we can be grateful for is that in the psalm it says, be still and know that I am God. Be still, quiet down all that's going on in your troubled mind, all the things you're wondering about, and say, hey, take a breath. Be still and know that I am God. When I was in middle school age, that was the verse that made such a difference in my life. That's what I'm grateful for. Be still and know that I'm God. In the midst of a time when I didn't know what was up and who I was and nicknames they made up for me. It was really a rough time. Jesus says, be still and know. Not only that I am God, but you are God's child. God is for you. God's love is for you. And he then goes to demonstrate that love in a trial that was terrible. And in that time, all of his friends, everyone left him alone. You know what it's like to be left alone? Terrible. Even just to come into a cafeteria where you want to sit down and eat with somebody and there's nobody there to sit with. Oh, that's a lonely feeling. Well, imagine going to a trial and even to death and everyone's abandoned you. You're all alone. That is so painful. Jesus dies on the worst and most cruel way that humanity could figure out to do to torture people. Oh, terrible. It's called the cross. They nailed him to the cross, which is what they did with criminals. They nailed him to the cross. That's what we call Friday, Black Friday, sometimes called Good Friday, because of the good that Jesus does then to show his love and to have us be forgiven, given a new day. And that new day comes about because after his death, he is then buried. And 3 days later, guess what? Guess what? He lives again. No way. Yahweh, God brings new life and gives us new life as well. That's what we call Easter. Yeah. Easter joy, new life. Jesus doesn't come and just kind of clean things up at the end of our lives. Jesus comes and gives us new life every day. Easter. What are you grateful for? Yes, everything that God has done, given me new life, gives me birth and life, and is there for you. And he says to us, this is what I say, I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Love one another. Oh, what a good idea in this world, that we love one another. By this, people will know that you're my disciples, if you have loved one another. And all these things that we have heard and seen are that we might have joy. Joy. That my joy may be in you and your joy may be fulfilled. Yes, that's what Jesus says. And that he comes that we might love and love one another. Yeah, that's Holy Week. What are you grateful for? At the heart of our faith and our journey of life, we are grateful for Holy Week. Starts at Christmas, ends at Easter, and life begins for us. He is risen. Christ is risen. Risen indeed. And Christ still rises again today in all the midst of the death and the hardships. What are you grateful for? Put it on the plate. What are you grateful for? Yes. Yes. Jesus is for you. Alive. Thanks be to God.